Jumping in here to let you all know that my commissions are open, so if you want an angel kill illustration, now is your chance. We can dominate the world with these silly, stupid chibis. Now, let's get back into the video. So, you want to join VGen, right? That's why you clicked on this video. If you didn't know, right now the biggest thing out there is VGen, this website, this brand, I think, that is a commission site for artists, whether it be writers, voice actors, musicians, VTubers, and as we all probably are, illustrators. There you can set up your whole site, your little store, what you offer, just your commission stuff, and you can even sell like virtual products, whether it be line arts or VTuber packs or a Photoshop file of your process, illustration process. Whatever it might be, you can do it there, and you might want to join that place. That's why I clicked here, as I said before. I personally decided to join VGen since it was my only option. PayPal doesn't work here where I live, so I couldn't open a Patreon or a Ko-fi shop or anything really in that sense, because most of those places either use PayPal or Stripe. VGen doesn't really need a PayPal account. You can use one, but you don't necessarily need one. So in that case, I was able to join that place and make my little commission site. VGen itself uses Stripe in their own system to make the whole money ordeal easier and safer. Stripe is a US-based money thing. I don't really know how to explain it. I am not a person that lives in the US. I am South American. Now let's get into the whole joining part of this site, right? Because this is a process, okay? I joined using the weekly appeal they have on Twitter, but they offer a few other options. I think that there is like a hashtag option, like a raffle of sorts, even though this one is technically a raffle as well, but they personally choose who will join and who doesn't, if I'm not mistaken. You can check out on their website and actually see a few ways to get a code. You can also get a code with other artists that are verified there. A lot of times on Twitter you will see other artists making these raffles and offering these codes because they have a lot of them just laying around, so to help other people out, they give them away and you help with engagement. It's a great exchange, okay? Before actually joining though, I decided to investigate a little bit on like the people who joined and the people who were about to join and what their work looked like and what they did to actually appeal to join the site itself, and I found a few things in common. First and foremost, what VGen asks for is your portfolio and 2 to 4 artworks. And your VGen account, of course, they need to know what they're verifying. Verifying not really, but accepting, right? Verification is a whole nother process on VGen, okay? Let's just not even get into that, because that's a whole nother ordeal. For the artworks, you will attach to your apply there on the thread, you will choose your best full illustrations, okay? That's what I did. The 2 or 4 biggest full-on, like, great concepts, crazy details and artwork and just this crazy lighting, pose, whatever it is, your best artwork, you attach that. And what I recommend for your portfolio that you should attach, if you don't already have one, right, use Huion. I've seen people use it a lot in the reply section and the people who actually got accepted there. Huion is a free-to-use portfolio website, and if I'm not mistaken, it's Japanese. I don't know. I'm unsure of that, but I think so. A lot of Japanese illustrators use it, and on there, I recommend, on the website, right, Huion, I recommend you publish at least 3 of your best illustrations of each thing that you want to offer. As in like free headshots if you want to offer headshots, free half bodies, free full bodies, free character designs, free pixel art illustrations, free chibis. 3 to 4 is what I would recommend. And to the description of each of those illustrations that you are publishing on the website, add the canvas size, whether it be like 3000 by 3000 pixels or 2000 by 2000 pixels. If you want to add it in inches, you can also do that. I personally add it in pixels because I find it easier. It makes it appear more professional, and if you want a descriptor, add a very short one, like very, very short. A character doing this in this sort of lighting, sort of stuff like that, like very short and straightforward. Plus, don't forget to organize it very well, such as put the headshots in a headshot section and full bodies in a full body section. And then you to the whole profile, you add your usual profile that distinguishes you from the others, the one that you use in basically all of your social medias, the thing that represents you and your brand, right? So after setting up your portfolio, which will require some time, that took me like a week, plus it will require your best artworks, and whether you want to draw new ones for that or use old ones, it's up to you. But after that, you will start preparing your reply to the thread. Yes, it takes a lot to do this. When you actually send it in, treat it in a very professional manner, because this is a job application. Okay, so treat it as such. Also, keep in mind that having an advanced set of skills will definitely get you there faster. If you're a beginner, it will probably be more difficult, but that's just the way things are. You have time to do things, that's fine. But if you are like intermediate to advanced, then you just kind of got to treat this very professionally, okay? So after you get in, okay, let's say you got in. I got in my first attempt. I like to believe that it was because of my skill, but who knows really. You can offer up to 5 services, okay? Because we are not verified. For verification, you need some things. Don't ask me, okay? It's like $100 and things sold and like certain amount of 5-star reviews or something. Stuff like that. You can actually see that when you get the acceptance in the artist alley of the VGen account. What I decided to offer is the basic stuff. So chibis, portraits, which are bust-ups in my case, thigh-ups, but it could be half-body, but I just didn't do half-body because it didn't seem fun enough. Don't ask why, I'm just sort of like that. And full bodies, which is very self-explanatory. And a Your Character Here option for celebratory things such as Halloween, Christmas, New Year's, Valentine's Day, whatever seems to fit the celebration stuff. I'm still working on my own at this moment, but I will offer that at some point. Now, to actually write out your terms of service, because you will need those and you need to make sure that those are right and professional and easy enough for people to read, because people are lazy, they don't like reading anymore. But for my own, I actually checked a few different artists' versions and sort of mixed them up. I tried keeping it as short as possible so that people actually read through it. You need to make sure that they are reading through it. I also wrote it in a very straightforward but professional language, or at least I tried to, so that no one actually got lost and could still understand what I was saying. The only longer ones were necessary descriptors, okay? Also, another important thing that you will want to add to your terms of service is to not allow any AI use for the comm that you are providing to your client, okay? We will use this in our little file section where the client has to fill out stuff again, okay? Just follow me along. Here, as you can see, you can read my own. Whether you want to copy it or use it as inspo is up to you. For example, I personally don't do not safe for work illustrations, but if you do, you can just remove that part. Or if you want to change something else, you can change that as well. So let's say that now you have your own terms of service, your TOS, in your actual service in your actual service, okay, in the place that the client is asking for your stuff. Include a checkbox making sure that your client actually read through your terms and understood them and agrees to them, okay? I personally added an option that says, I didn't really understand, I prefer to chat about it so that I could understand better, right? I'm very into communication. A lot of times when I see stuff about commissions, when they go right, it's because of communication, and when it goes wrong, it's also because of communication. So I want to offer like communication up front, right? For the actual service though, we are going through another investigation process, okay? Follow me. So we can actually make sure that you price yourself fairly. So if you're thinking of putting low prices on your services to get more clients, that won't really work. My own prices were calculated based on the currency of the country I live in and the hourly pay of the country I live in, while still keeping in mind the average price of the product I'm selling in the website compared to the same products from other people, plus the percentage that VGen gets and the other stuff that, PayPal, Stripe. VGen takes 5% and PayPal or Stripe also take 5% of your revenue. So you need to make sure to include that in your price so you don't actually lose money. Okay, that's very important. There actually is a VGen price calculator that someone made if you want to use that. I'll make sure to include that in the description. Make sure to calculate the prices of what you are offering. You base the price of your product on your effort, your time spent, detail, whatever really. I have to say though, a lot of times by the more famous artists do their work also is more expensive because they have more demand, okay? So you also need to add that in. But let's say you have your prices, you know what you're about to offer, okay? So when you're putting reference pics for what you're selling, I recommend putting 6 references. Like, for example, in my chibi section, I added a full body one, a portrait one with accessories, one with a full background, and one with multiple characters to give an idea to the client of what some options look like, just so that they, can keep in mind what they're buying. For that, for others, like portraits, I included some basic bust-ups, some fully fleshed story-type illustrations, different concepts, different lightings, just to give options, right? I do this for my portraits, for my fi-ups, for my full bodies. You just gotta keep in mind, alright? If you're selling something, don't use the same thing, right? Don't just put the same illustration just with different characters there. Use some variation just to give a better idea of what you're actually selling and what it could look like. I personally only offer rendered illustrations, so if you want to offer sketches or line arts or any other colored sketches, for example, you'd have to add the option for that on your actual service. You can add different things, which we will get into now because that's a whole nother process. This one was a long one as well, where I had to investigate what people actually put in their descriptions of their product they're selling or their service they're selling, and when you're starting to fill out your request, what you should ask for, because you will have to make your own. In my include section of the description of my service that I am providing, I tell what I am offering, right? The product. In my case, I always specify that this is this portrait or fi-up or full body illustration. In the details section, I tell what I'll be delivering the commission as. In my case, it's a PNG file, and in what canvas size, I provide that. What add-ons I'm offering, which the person can choose when they are filling out the request. And some important notes for the client to tell me exactly their needs and what details they desire upfront, and that big changes can only be made during the sketch phase. After side line art, revisions will be only minor, that stuff, right? Just so that the person can keep in mind. Then the client will obviously read through the terms of service, agree to it, and now we get into the complicated part, which is the format your client will have to fill out, right? The form, we will have to make that. I first ask what they will use the commission for, since if they want to use it for monetized content or merch, I will ask for more money. Then I ask how many characters. I personally offer up to 5 since, I'm insane. But obviously each costs extra money. Each character, I mean. I personally offer also 3 types of backgrounds. A simple solid background is included in the price already, the original price. But the pattern background costs a little extra. I also offer photo bashing since I do that as well, and it's sort of easier-ish. And then complex ones with insane stuff and, all that crazy shit. Also accessories. Some people have extremely detailed designs and lots of itsy-bitsy little details, where they want lots of details and accessories flying around or whatever. Just imagine it, okay? And that's a lot of effort and work, but not really that much. So I add that price as well. It's not that much extra, but it still is. Then I ask for references and files because despite having open communication through the work, I also want to make sure to have things there before accepting anything out of my reach. And then important info, a description of what the client actually wants, just so that we can keep in mind that, this is in our reach. Then making sure, this is where I add this part here, that the client has to tell me that they read my terms of service and understood them, and this is necessary to fill in. You will have options inside the website where you can fill out a certain part and whether it is obligatory to fill that out or if it's not, and also if it costs extra or not, and that is, took me a while to figure that out. And once again, an AI policy, just so that the person is making sure, okay, we are making sure here. Then I pretty much add something along these lines for all of my commissions. I'm pretty sure that my chibi ones are a little bit different than this. You can pause and use that for your own comms or use it as a reference once again. So you think we're done? Absolutely not. Portfolio on VGen time. When you're not verified, you can have up to 20 illustrations on your portfolio, if I'm not mistaken. So you want to make sure to have references for what you offer again, whether it be banners, character designs, chibis, portraits, full bodies, stuff like that. You want to include that once again. And also, make sure to put your best works on top so that they are the first thing to appear, the ones that you're the proudest of, the ones that you want to really show off your whole aesthetic on the website, whatever it is, put your best stuff on top, okay? Now we will choose your banner and profile picture that match your brand, once you probably use on other sites that make you recognizable, right? The same thing for Foreo here and Twitter and whatever. Add a description of what you are. For example, I am an illustrator and a character designer, especially for Storyworks. You all know that I'm obsessed with my OCs and story building and whatever that is. So I especially specialize in that specialty, okay? And then you think you're done once again? No, man, no. Then you have to do promo stuff and marketing. So we'll get into that now. In this little video, I'll show you through my promo post, but I recommend doing short video promotions as well and probably including it at the beginning of your videos, like you saw in this video that I included something at the beginning saying, hey, I have commissions, that's so fun, stuff like that, just with a more professional voice than that. So when you want to promote a product, okay, or a service, those can be exchangeable, you will need an image that describes your product, a headline for that thing, and a sort of promotion that catches the eye or offers something limited. In my case, you can see my drawing, commissions open, in a logo style, that's very eye-catching, and 10 slots open. I decided to use myself as the cover since I am the face of my brand. I'm Angel Kill, and I am offering Angel Kill drawings, but you can use, whether it be an OC, whatever it is, you use that. Then on the other slides, I show the types of comms I'm offering. In my case, anime style comms in portraits, FI-up, and full body options, and at what price they start at, and that you can get more in-depth details on VGen for more info. And also the chibi style commissions that start at $8, but that more info can be found on VGen as well. I made sure to add some interest to the other slides too, like she is in an interesting pose, this one is trending on Twitter and I think it looks cool, that's why I used that. And like Celine interacting with Jellish, looking really cute and silly, just to like make it a little bit more different and more me. I also made sure to add these lines to show which parts are which one is portrait and FI-up and full body, just to make things more cohesive. When you're actually making the layout, you have to make sure that the eye follows the page and that the color schemes are coherent to the illustration. And your brand as well. In my case, it's very purple and saturated, so I kept that in mind. I also had some little details here and there to make it fuller and cuter, and just that sort of stuff. I did not add the Your Character Here option in this one, since that one I will promote separately, since I do it only for special occasions. And this one specifically I want to pin to my profile so it's easy to find and accessible. You know, making free illustrations was easy. What was hard really was doing the layout of it. If you're ever in doubt of how to lay out your stuff, I'll give you a few options. You can use the comic layout, which follows a Z, so that your eyes glide across the page, or a vertical one, or a horizontal one. Or you can use the golden ratio if you're insane. And then you do short videos, especially if it's funny humor. Funny people sell well, okay? And then we're pretty much done. That is VGen stuff. How to enter, how to set it up, and how to promote it. That was a lot. I've been doing this whole ordeal for a month and a half now, so I hope that you can get something out of it, and I hope to have shared my insight with you well enough. Once again, as always, I hope you have a nice day or night, and I hope to see you next time. And I also wish you success on VGen. Bye!